Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Dan.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are going to review Picture Perfect from Arcane Wonders. It plays for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and I would say 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like 45 minutes with learning, really. It went pretty quick.
Yeah.
There wasn't much learning.
What?
There wasn't much to learn.
No, it's pretty
easy.
Pretty straightforward. Basically, what you're going to do is you've got all of these cards or these envelopes that are pictures of the guests, right? And we've got this deck of preferences, where they want to stand, who they want to stand next to, what row they want to be in.
The hair is free.
So on and so forth. And so you're trying to build your tableau, right? You got this board here. And you got all of these little placements and these rows and everything. And so as you go through the envelopes, you're going to find out their preferences. Yes, some of them will contradict.
Yes.
But the goal is to just kind of do the best you can. And then once you've got everybody placed in after 6 rounds, snap, you take the picture, and then we go through every envelope and see what qualifications you've met, right? So if you meet 0 of the preferences for one of the people in the picture, it is -3 points. Otherwise, if you get 1 out of the 3, that's 1 point, which is super nice. 2 out of the 3 is 3 points, and if you get all 3, it's 6. There are also the possibility that there could be these VIP cards put in there. So you score that guest again for each VIP card. And actually, it's possible to have multiple VIP cards in the same envelope. And then there's also these exchange cards that are shuffled together, and then so each round, at the end of each round, you're going to draw one, and that's going to tell you how you're going to swap these envelopes with other players. You might take them from the middle of the table, you might take them give them to the left and right, whatever. But it's a great way to also just count down the rounds.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, I talked to Dan after the game, and you're trying to see every single one of these envelopes. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, it has that almost like clue mechanic, right? Where you're like, okay, I need to see what information Bob has. So you're hoping a card comes up that lets you like exchange cards with him and that kind of thing.
But I was also like, I knew that this plant envelope had 2 VIP cards on it. And I'm like, I'm going to sit on this bad boy.
That important?
Well, because everybody apparently, 2 people deemed it that important. I was one of them because I saw it. I had already had it placed in a spot where it was meeting everything. And I'm like, well, I'm throwing my card in here too, because I'm going to at least score that one extra. And then what I did was when it came to like passing, if I got to choose, I did not hand this envelope to
try to
anybody.
keep that secret.
Because I wanted to be the one to get these points.
But I took it. And it won the game.
Yeah,
yeah,
it did.
It literally, it was insane. I had a good lead going into the last round, and I never saw the tree card. So Bob wound up getting 18 points from that one
I
card.
hit all 3.
And you beat me by like 5 or something. And I was like, oh my God.
Playing for the win.
I didn't see that card.
And the preference cards can be like, I want to stand next to this
somebody.
person. I don't want to stand next to a man. I don't want to stand next to a woman.
I don't want anyone to see my face.
I don't want anybody to see my face. I don't want anybody to see their face.
Next to the table, away from
like-
the table. Yeah.
Because there's this person here making this face, and there is a preference card where they don't want this person seen.
Yes.
And then I believe there's a preference card where this person wants to be in the front, like specifically,
of course,
so they can be seen.
And you can have cards in the same envelope that says this person will stand in this row, this person will stand in this row, and it's like, well, that's impossible.
Yeah,
so
you
you got to
can't
pick
get all
one.
3. Yep,
so you
just
got
pick
to
one.
do whatever. Like, so okay, so if I put them in this row, they'll probably only match one thing, but if I put them in this row, they can match 2. But then also, depending on the other people, okay, well, putting them in this row only gets them 1, but then they'll help this person get a bunch of points. So I guess I'll sacrifice that. Yeah, interesting mechanics.
And the tough thing is you can only look in your envelopes at like the beginning of each round, and you can only do them one at a time. So you've got to make that way you can make sure you're keeping everything consistent. But the tough part then is like, oh, so this guy, did he like her or not? I can't remember if he can be next to her. You know what I mean?
Or you'll put someone and you'll think they're in a really good spot, but then you'll get a card later and it's like, ooh, this person really wants to stand where that guy is. Will I get more points if I swap them
out? And if
I
do swap them, can I move the person who wants to be next to and still get the same
right,
points?
exactly. And that's, man, when Tim was first explaining the game, we were setting it up, we're doing all this stuff. Okay. And then he said, okay, and now you put the people out, and then you put them back in, and you can't look at them again, and we're going to pass around. I was like, it's a memory game. Oh, no. I was not ready. I was not ready for that.
I was like taking them, like if I knew like this person wanted to be next to this person, but I didn't know where I'd flip them backwards, right? Like, okay, I got a clue that I want them there. It should be, and
That's kind of, I was doing a similar thing where
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, I've done that.
or I knew I wasn't going to score any points from where they were at. So then if I needed to move them, I could,
Right.
because it was like, well, they're definitely not getting anything there.
Right.
So if I had to move them, maybe they'll hit, I'll get
Clearly
lucky.
not choose the wine in front of you.
Correct.
Also, with the way that you swap things out, it's quite possible that you swap things out and get the exact same ones that you just gave away.
Oh, yeah,
Also,
sure.
That
true.
happened to me twice. And I was in third place.
He
so.
still came in third place. I had tons of information. Last place.
Yeah, Mr. Screwed me over with the tree here. Take out last place.
You
Thanks,
also have
buddy.
like two people where you lost 3 points on each or something like that.
Yeah.
I was lucky and I got 1 point on everyone.
Sure. And I made a choice to sacrifice
Oh yeah.
not getting them points to try to get, because I thought I was maximizing in other areas.
Right.
Turned out I chose poorly.
Yeah, chosen poorly.
Yeah. I made that
I
choice
was
too.
really looking forward to, and it didn't disappoint, seeing how different all the tables were at the end, because all the cards are the same. We're all going
Yeah.
off the same amount of
Same
information, of
information.
course, at different times, right?
Sure.
That's what plays the difference. But like looking at them, like Bob and I had a couple people in the exact same space, and like that was interesting to see. But like, yeah, it was just like, oh, really? How many points do you get for putting her there? Because I didn't put her there, and like that's very interesting. I like
18.
that. Thanks, buddy. I got. I had
Yeah.
the tree.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried.
I had
you
two
were
of them.
like neck and
I
neck
just
with me,
didn't
like,
get
the
that
whole
third
time.
one.
Yeah.
But so just getting into like some of the nitty gritty, right? Gameplay is really good, really solid, very easy to teach.
Yep.
I like the components. It's all
Yeah.
just punch out standees.
Yeah, which is fine.
Even
Even the minis guys aren't like.
I did have a small problem with this. It gets very crowded, and if you accidentally touch one wrong, and it makes everything fall over, and you're like, well, I have to get in there now. And remember what position they were
I
all
guess
in.
part of
I
me-
need tweezers.
Part of me wonders if that's the point of the
No.
game.
And
is
I
it's
wondered if
supposed
that's
to
something
feel
supposed to be. Is
clustered, and
there
you have
a-
to be really
A
careful.
dexterity element.
Everybody
to it.
move.
I think the trick is to not use this hand.
Yeah.
To use this.
The problem is you're left-handed. But yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's an aspect of it.
Cards were simplistic.
Yep.
Everything is very straightforward.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one page. The only thing I would want is a rules card just breaking down the preferences one more time. Like this means define. They don't want their face seen.
Sure.
Define this or that.
Hide it behind this or that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a card. It could have just been done like this. Again, it's all on one very easy to find page in the rule book. So it's not like, oh man,
not
we spent
there.
a ton of time going
Looking
through
for
and
it.
looking for
Yeah.
this. No. That is a very small like picking of nit.
I also, sorry, you weren't.
No,
done.
go for it. I was just gonna say. Otherwise, the starting player reference card. I mean, it's the same front and back as far as I can tell, and you just pass that to the person.
Yeah, it was just kind of Mark's first player because honestly, you don't even need that thing.
Yeah.
Not once you play
once you
one
read it
round,
the first time.
Yeah.
you know exactly what you need to do.
You're just like, okay, pull the next card and read it. That's all the
Yeah.
card says, really.
Yeah.
The only thing that I had a question of, and it didn't impact the game at all, but I'm still not 100% sure, because the VIP card says you score twice. It says score that card twice.
An additional
and
time.
so if you have none of the
Negative
things
points.
on that, you score -3 points. So does that mean you would score -6 points?
I would think so.
I would
but-
think so.
Yeah.
And I don't think we played that way, but I don't think it would have impacted
wouldn't have changed
anything.
No.
So
I
not a
still
problem.
came in last.
But just
Yeah.
make sure.
I would have came in more last.
More or less.
Sure. Well, I think Bob failed
I
one
had
VIP
one.
thing, but you beat me
No,
by
it wasn't
enough
VIP
points.
though.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, the one I didn't get any on
like I
wasn't
said,
VIP.
he had enough points at the end that it wouldn't have mattered, but I wasn't sure. So when you get the game, just make sure you look for that line in the rule book and double read it, because I mean I have it right here. I could just do that, but you might.
We
as well.
trusted Tim on the rules.
We need a disclaimer at the bottom of all our, not just for you. I'm just saying at the bottom of all our reviews, we need a disclaimer that says like this game was taught by X.
Yeah.
So any rules
Any
that
rules
are
that were
wrong
explained
is their
incorrectly.
fault.
Yeah.
We played consistently.
We played consistently. As long
And-
as we all play by the same rules.
For the most part, it
the
seems
most
like
part.
everybody had a good time.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
before I just go, everybody had a great time. We played consistently. More importantly,
I
we
would
played
also like to
consistently.
point out there are advanced rules we did not play,
Yes.
so we don't really know what they do, but it looks like they might be fun.
A couple things on components too. The inside of the shields are all different.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool. And these things are reversible. So there's like an interior and an
ground
outerior,
changes.
so that you can
Right.
kind of match it with this a little better. And then also I
It's
liked.
exterior.
What did I say?
Outerior.
Did I really?
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
Wow. I just made fun of someone for that yesterday because they said inhale, outhale. And I said it's exhale. So I just did the same thing.
That's funny.
So that, and then also this one wind up being pointless, but I liked that when you set your shields up, the person to your left and right, these are like their player aids, I thought at first, and that was really nice. It turns out this one's just a scoreboard at the end, so it doesn't really matter. It's just so it's nice when it folds up. But being able to see this is nice as the game goes on. You can keep in memory,
Keep that
okay,
in mind.
how much everything is worth and everything as you're going. Again, more important at the end. But honestly, for games with shields, I'd like to start seeing this become a thing because having these set up like this means that if I look to my right and I look to my left, I'm seeing both
Two
player
different
aids.
sides.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So that was a really cool idea, even though it wasn't actually really what it was.
Right,
but
not actually a player
Yeah, I'd
aid,
like
but
to
yeah.
see that more because that was
Yeah,
cool.
it's
But
good
anyway,
point.
see, look, Spencer, everything's
everything
ruined.
is-
Oh, yeah,
Everything's
Now,
ruined.
what
all
position were they
ruined.
all
Who
in?
invited that treat?
All ruined.
Yeah,
But
treat, had too much
anyways,
to drink.
So Dan, how do we rate these?
Okay. So we're going to score these from 1 to 10 each. And then at the end, we're going to average them out so that there's only one score that you have to put on Board Game Geek and stuff like that. But also, like, you might agree with Bob more on games, so knowing his personal score matters. I know that doesn't apply to most people, but just
Yeah,
you know, as an example. So who do you want to go first?
Let's go make Spencer go first.
Sure.
I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah, I kind of knew he was going to do that too. I don't have anything else to add from the component-wise and everything that's been said. I'm going to give this one a 7.5.
All right, 7.5.
Yeah.
Bobby.
I don't have anything else really to add component-wise either. Dan made a really good point about those things, and I like how they do close up, and as you're keeping score, it's got the little reminder for that. It's pretty neat. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people who like Clue, and I think that I'd be able to play this with them because it's kind of along those lines. I'm going to give it an 8. you
Yeah,
know?
right on. Daniel.
You want me to ask you your score? Is that why you said my name?
Nice try.
Yeah, I'm wavering around the same two scores from them because it's a spatial clue, right?
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I really like spatial games. I just
And space
people-
games.
Yeah, right. Yeah, spatial, spatial,
In space, out space,
outspace.
X space.
So yeah, like even games that I wouldn't normally like, if they have like a spatial element where you're having to keep track of where things are, I tend to like them more. So that kind of bumps this game up a bit. On the other spectrum, it is a little simple. You know, it's like a little party game kind of thing. You know, you just play it for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. That's it. It's almost like a filler, although
The advanced stuff.
it overstays its welcome as a filler, right? I would say. So it's
a
maybe
filler.
not a filler, but it feels like that kind of area.
Sure.
a heavy filler.
Right. You're right, though, that there's a couple advanced rules we didn't go into. So that
Correct.
also might help me.
Yep.
Sure.
So I actually agree that I think for now I'm going to go with an 8 just because I love spatial stuff. Memory
Yeah.
sucks for me. When he said memory, I was like, oh no.
Right,
But,
right.
Wait, what was I thinking?
but like placing people out and moving them around, and then like I would, constantly like, try to
taking-
look
see
and
that
see how things are
face?
lining
Yeah.
up and like slightly be like, no, you hide behind that person.
Can you
and-
nudge
Right.
these things around?
Right, I don't think so. I didn't do any of that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with an 8 for now, which is really high, I think, for me.
Yeah.
For this, but for now, I'm gonna go with an 8. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to trying out the more advanced stuff.
Well, it's Arcane Wonders. They make one of your favorite games of all time.
That's true.
Man, they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, this checks a lot of boxes, right?
Yeah.
It's very accessible.
Mhm.
It was really easy to teach and learn.
Mhm.
So if I'm playing with like in-laws, not as hardcore gamers, this is like right down the line, right? Because you are scaffolding off of games that they're familiar with,
Correct.
like Clue, right?
Yes.
And then you've got the spatial element and that puzzle. Like really, I mean, it just really hit it for me. I would like to see some of the extra things are like
one
a
player-
fixed price auction beginning with the starting player. The active player chooses one of their envelopes and names a price. Any other player may choose to pay the named price and immediately view the contents.
So
Price
we
and
have
points?
currency.
Maybe it's points.
What?
I know.
Yeah.
So we got to see like what that
Yeah.
does, but I feel like that like even then escalates.
Sure.
And
Um,
we had extra plates and things to go on here.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
We didn't
don't
use
know.
all the table settings and everything.
Right.
For sure.
Right. I mean, this is an 8.5
Yeah.
for me and could go higher because it plays fast, but if I can get like a game with just a little bit of crunch in there that actually plays in under an hour
Yeah.
and I can play it with people that aren't as hardcore gamers, but I can still get some satisfaction out of it, like bam, that's a home run, man.
Yeah, so if you average all of our scores together,
Do the math yourself.
that's an 8. Yeah.
Or do the math
I
yourself.
think that makes me and Bob right.
I think it does.
That's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, that's what that kind of shakes out to.
I think you like it a little too much. I think you maybe don't like it enough.
Dan and I are all over it.
Just right. But yeah, I mean, I obviously, right, all pretty consistent. I think we all have the, where some of the things that didn't bother me maybe bothered you a little bit more.
Right. And
Little-
then bothered
little
us.
And I think
right now.
I liked some of the things a little bit more than you
Sure.
guys did, and that's great though.
Yeah.
I
Solid
think
score.
if you like a little, again, not like simple in a bad way, but just easy to learn and play deduction games with spatial elements, which I know that's like kind of niche, but this is a pickup.
And a
Yes.
ton of replayability because it is
Yeah.
absolutely random
yeah.
the way
Things,
these cards
yeah.
are going to get divvied up into
Distributed
the
up.
envelopes.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Spencer.
I was Dan.
This is Picture Perfect. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.